I'm back, everyone, from France. Welcome to another Mikereative Cast. With me, as always, is Vince.
Hi, how's it going? Hello, sorry, delay.
Yeah, he's in another country, so that's why there's a little slight delay whenever there's going to be any responses. Just kidding, I'm back.
Yeah, slight delay.
So we're back again to talk. Red Dead's coming out on Friday.
Yes.
These guys are going to watch it on Sunday, and so really it's already out for you guys, but for us, it's not out yet. So we have a Western theme main topic going on, and then we have a few things to talk about, like my trip in France, and the newest Spider-Man DLC that dropped earlier this week. So let's get going. For those of you who haven't watched any of the videos or seen us and you just kind of come across us, I'm Mikereative. We do a podcast every Sunday, and we try to focus on the creative arts, the passions of film, TV shows, video games, and art, literature, anything that has to do with creativity. But most of our focus is on TV and films and yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So yes, let's get to the first topic.
What is the first topic?
I don't know. Do you want it to be France or do you want it to be Spider-Man?
Let's do Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Okay. So DLC dropped earlier this week, and it's actually a lot of fun.
We didn't talk about our wine.
Oh yeah. That's true.
You're getting rusty.
See, I mean, I just
He goes
2
to a
weeks
different
off,
country and then comes back a whole different person, apparently.
Right? I know. Okay. So we are not having a beer of the show. We instead have a wine of the show because I have just come back from France. So
I hope you didn't talk like that to French people. That's super
just
offensive.
walking down the street.
Hello.
Bonjour, everyone.
Bonjour.
No, we
That'd be terrible.
That I actually did when I got drunk, but with my buddy, and he just thought it was hilarious. My buddy, who's he's also French.
Yeah.
Not also French, but
He is
French. Okay, so I guess we'll just introduce this wine because that's our wine of the show. It is called Gnarly Head. It's a bold, sophisticated wine, a Cabernet Sauvignon from California, Napa, California, 2016. Again, we wanted to do a wine because
He just came back from France.
we
and he
just
was
came
feeling
back from
bougie.
France. Yeah, we're feeling like,
I didn't come back from. He came back from France.
Yeah, that's true.
Lucky.
It was
So
so
he's-
much fun.
Was it?
Jesus Christ, yes it was. Let's see. I don't know. What does it say? Solid tannins, because that means something. And dark jammy fruit. Frame black currant, dried cranberry, clove, toasted oak, and soft pepper.
Nice.
Pair with a marinated tri-tip, slow cooked pork roast or pot roast, or a classic meat lasagna.
Huh. That's pretty cool. That it actually has suggestions.
That has like a pairing suggestion, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
beers
guess we can
usually
just
eat
try
with
this.
pizza and wings.
I guess so. Though they do try to be bougie sometimes.
Yeah,
They're
they
like,
do.
Pair it with this. And
Damn, this really goes with that. You're a liar.
oh yeah, definitely sweeter of the typical.
Like a red. Not so dry.
Yeah, not so dry. I typically like the dries. Do you like dry wines more?
I really like dry wine.
Yeah.
Dry wine.
Yeah. So this is a little bit more, like it says, jammy fruit. It like
Does taste
literally
a little
says
bit
jammy.
It does taste jammy.
Just tastes jammy.
Tastes boozy too.
You know, I get a lot of solid tannins too.
Those tannins really become evident after every sip. Oh, the aroma of it. Tannins.
Tannins. Is that what tannins are?
I
Aroma?
have no fucking clue what tannins are.
Because that sounded like you, literally sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
I know.
I was so excited. I was like, we get to figure out what tannins are today.
Google it. I'll Google it later.
Hey, you guys want to comment down in the section? Comment down in If you guys want
You're
to
drunk
comment
already, Michael.
if you want to comment down below and let us know what tannins are, then we'll reply back. Thank you, Boosh.
Anyways, moving on.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man. Sorry, newcomers. It's typically not like this. Pretty structured, but we're having fun.
We're going to have fun. It's going to be, as soon as this one goes down, then it's going to really be fun. It's going to be a really great time.
Yeah. Spider-Man. So DLC dropped in, it's familiar. Like it really just is just a familiar, like I played through it.
What
it took
is the
about
DLC?
What
is specific about this DLC?
It focuses on Black Cat,
Which is we had already talked about.
Mm-hmm. And you actually see her in this one. So she in the actual game, she's just kind of like on his phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She contacts him, and then there's side missions that have to do with like, but she's always eluding him, so he never gets to her. But this DLC really focuses on like her being there, and it actually creates like this love triangle between MJ, Black Cat, and Peter, because Black Cat and Peter, Spider-Man, spoilers, used to.
I hope that's not a spoiler. I really hope that everybody at home knows that Peter Parker is fucking Spider-Man.
But they used to date, right? And so
that's a spoiler. So. They didn't know before.
They used to date. So then, and in the DLC, he's like, "Oh, just so you know, MJ, we used to date." And she's like, "Oh, really? That's quite interesting." And so she kind of has like a jealous tinge to her kind of remarks after that. And then the reason that Spider-Man and Black Cat come together to actually like help her with her missions, essentially, in this DLC, is because of a whole like sun drop thing, like, hey, oh, my son's been kidnapped, and Peter Parker's like,
what?
Is it my kid?
How old is this kid? How many years?
Right? Yeah. And then we do the math. But every time he tries to ask the question, she gets all close and like, nope, I'm not telling you, and like, I just need you to help me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun and kind of, I really like the interaction. But as far as like the gameplay, it just went by pretty fast. Like I just wanted more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the familiarity with it was nice because I hadn't played Spider-Man since before, like 3 weeks back.
Yeah.
When I platted it, and so it's like it was nice going back into it because I'm like, oh yeah, this is familiar, like web slinging and combat and all that. Like that's nice, but then I wanted something more. Like they introduced the new enemy, but that was about it.
Yeah, so it kind of fell flat.
It just kind of it just wasn't like up to what the game was when I first got it and was like, this is amazing, everything about it's amazing. I was really hoping that this DLC would just kind of be like, okay, we showed you this game, now we're going to show you 5 hours of just something even better.
Yeah.
And then the next DLC is going to be topping that and then topping that.
I mean, I'm sure with the response of everybody I'm sure a lot of people are going to feel that same way. It's like, oh, it's not, it'll promote them to at least bring something more from this next DLC. I mean, is there just a planned DLCs in the future? I mean,
yeah, there's 2 more.
Minimum, or that's what they're planning for?
That's what they're planning for. So it's called, it's an episodic, The City Never Sleeps, or The City That Never Sleeps. It's a 3-episode DLC, like expansion type of thing. So this one dropped in October. There should be one in November, and then there should be one in December. So they already have it worked on. So I don't know if they're hopefully they already had a plan for like, hey, this one's going to be kind of the easy DLC, and then these next ones we're going to bump it up. But I don't know if they haven't planned that, and then everyone's response is, hey, we want more than what just is, you know what I mean? Just the story that we had in the main game. You know what I mean?
And maybe that's the whole idea, is like, we're going to give you just a little bit at a time, so you can still
it ends on a really good cliffhanger, like a really good cliffhanger. And I'm just like, oh, no, I want more. What? It's already over? Oh, I guess I have to go fight some crimes.
Well, you got to imagine that's the whole point. Like,
oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, they want you to, like, all right, let me get you intrigued. Let me get you.
Because each one sells for $10.
Each DLC.
You could buy all 3 episodes for $10, or you can buy, like, the season pass for $25. So you save yourself $5. Right? And so I think that's what it was like. It's for the people who kind of like look at it and go, oh, I bought the first one just to try it out. ends on that cliffhanger, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, well I want more."
Yeah.
You know, like give me more, kind of thing. So that's that I like it. Like
Yeah.
it was good, and I like the interaction. I like all the cinematic type of back and forth, and especially because I'm right now more shipping the Peter and Black Cat relationship versus
Peter and
MJ.
MJ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
MJ in the stories, like she's cool and all, but she just I don't know. She was kind of that like other side of the balance beam for Peter in the story, that it kind of made me just be like, I like how like adventurous Black Cat is versus MJ, who's kind of, she's still adventurous, but she kind of like is.
She's ordinary and boring.
Not really, but whatever. Sure, sure.
Something always seems like it's better than that, Michael.
I know, right?
Grass is always greener.
In the fish in the sea.
Either way, I mean that's awesome. I mean, I'm sure as soon as they come out with more, it'll leave you probably in that same way. I was like, I want more. So
and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping, because episode 2 is going to be real hard for me to plug that disc back into that game, because Red Dead's coming out or is already out for the watchers right now, and it's like that game's going to take forever because the map's huge, right? I'm already seeing leaked gameplay, and people are posting these, like, you know, just the interactiveness of this game is just going to be something that I can see myself being.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe I should get back into games. This would be the moment, guys.
I honestly, yeah. If you're gonna pick a game that's going to be the moment you get back into games, it's going to be like Fallout, but on a whole nother level. Fallout, as far as expansive open worldness, right? But then on a whole nother level, as in more in depth, immersed story and gameplay, and yeah.
Side note: Fallout 76. I looked into it a little bit more.
Okay.
Not intrigued.
Not intrigued?
No.
No. The beta testing that's going on, there's a lot of people saying that it's like, meh.
Yeah.
You know, like there's still kinks to work out, but it's just pretty much, it's just for with people that you can come across. It's for that's been dumbed down so that you can add people in.
Yeah.
Because there's no other NPCs in the world. It's just you and however many are on the server. And so it just, a lot of people were saying that they felt like it was a full-on Fallout game because they're walking around the wasteland kind of going, oh, yeah, this is like how it usually is, right? And they only are encountering, you know, monsters or, you know, I think they have robots, like the handymen.
Oh, yeah, the handymen
Right.
are there. And then
Yeah. So it's like only those that they're encountering. And so it's like, oh, I feel like kind of like a Soul Survivor type of person where it's just me until they come across someone who is on the server with them. And then you decide whether or not you guys want to fight or trade or do whatever you want to do. It just, but they were saying it kind of falls flat.
Yeah.
With
It doesn't seem intriguing enough to actually be like, oh, I want to kind of invest that time. It just feels like, and then someone can nuke the hell out of everybody, and then. But I guess you actually get like an attribute if you guys get nuked or something like that.
Yeah, so the nuking that occurs in the area where it gets nuked, resources that you can't obtain otherwise then appear. So that's where you can then get your like your radium or whatever the radiation is to like power the fusion suits, right, or the power armor, and so you get like these the weird materials that you don't normally find out in the actual world.
So it's just for with people.
It's for with friends, yeah, or enemies. It's a nice concept. I just wish that they put their time more into Fallout 5 or Skyrim 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Elder Scrolls 6, and focus on a whole new engine and focus on, you know, just really getting that immersiveness, because you look at, you know, Rockstar, and here's Red Dead coming out, and the fact that like it looks cinematic, picturesque, and just amazing with the amount of detail, right? Like the guy's pulling up on the horse, and you can hold down like L2 or the left trigger, and it gives you options if you want to pull your gun and threaten the person that you're coming across, if you want to taunt them, if you want to just be nice to them and say hello, right? So it gives you options. And if you think about it, if it gives you options up front like that, imagine all the different outcomes that can happen. Like you can say hello and they can be like hi, and then you can taunt them and like be a little bit aggressive and see if they come back at you like that, and then you can pull your gun on them, or you can go back to being like, oh no friend, I was just being funny. You know what I mean? Like it's there's so much that you can do, which is I'm just like super excited for. Just super excited to get into that world and there's going to be an online component to it, just like GTA has an online component, and so they're saying that they want to really up their online. It's not going to be like GTA at all. It's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be more like you find a group of friends that you're going to become a gang with type of thing. And so they really haven't released a lot of details about online, but they're saying it's going to be something different than normal multiplayer type of modes, which excites me because, I'm not really a good shooter type of person. And so I always get sniped in Destiny. It's annoying. I just run around and people just shoot me and like one shot me, and I'm like, God damn it, whatever.
Tell me how you really feel.
God, no, I'm just kidding.
He's just gonna start yelling.
But no, I'm really excited for the online mode.
So it's supposed to be this Western feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's Western. It's actually, even though it's a Red Dead 2, it's actually a prequel to Red Dead 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you actually see the protagonist of Red Dead 1. You see him in the trailer, but he's just a younger self.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have a scar. He doesn't have like certain things, and so it's exciting to kind of for fans who are coming back to it, can kind of see like how did he get a scar? How did you know what I mean? Like how does that relationship play out? And everything. So, really excited for the Spider-Man DLC episode 2. And then super happy to be back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do some more videos and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Weekly. I know we missed this last one, but...
We did. I was super sick from jet lag, and I was thinking that I can come back from France and we could do a podcast just like this, but missed that chance.
Yeah, you...
Missed that chance.
I came home that day, and I was like, oh, he took a nap. And then he was like 3 hours later, like, I don't think he's knocked out. He's done.
I was
like, don't wake him. Let's just go.
I was sick.
Yeah, he was
super
done.
sick.
So,
and it was
back.
nice because when I was sick, being asleep, I didn't have like any kind of congestion or anything. The minute I wake up, I start blowing my nose and crap. It's so annoying. So I'm kind of glad that you didn't wake me up, but I do feel bad that I didn't, provide a video.
That's okay. We got a couple.
This week, actually, we were supposed to be wearing costumes because this is going to launch.
Oh God!
Right before Halloween. We missed our chance.
Maybe next year, guys.
Wait, hold on. Hey, what's going on? I'm Vince.
It's the first time people see my hair like that.
And that was Michael.
I was trying to be Michael. He has prettier hair than I do.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop.
Western, main topic. It's going to probably be the worst main topic ever.
No. Well, the good thing is you literally, there was a break, so you can literally put Western into the second topic and France into the main topic.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It's all
we can move it around, and we don't even have to move it around. We can just have this in the podcast so that they know, like, this is happening. You know what I mean? Like,
we literally could be staring at the camera for a half hour, and no one would say anything because
no one watches.
No one watches.
So the main topic is supposed to be.
The main topic was France, and then we're having a...
no, shut up. The main topic is not France.
It should have been France, and now...
It should have been, because we talked a lot about it.
Now we have to talk about Westerns and...
Why? Why are we talking about a Western?
Because of Red Dead Redemption.
Exactly.
So why is there a split between Red Dead Redemption and then Western. And then we're just like, hey, welcome to Red Dead Redemption, where we talk about Westerns. Like, no, now we're going to talk about France. Oh, yeah, Westerns.
We did talk a little bit about Red Dead while we were talking about Spider-Man, though, huh?
Yeah.
We did segue into that. So, I mean, whatever. It's going to be a small main topic, I guess.
It's not a main. This is a subvertant topic to France.
Yeah.
I don't know what subvertant means.
Whatever. Me either. I think you just made that word
I'm
up.
pretty sure I made that up. Cheers to that one.
Cheers to that one.
Yeah, definitely for that wine.
Okay, so Red Dead's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead's already out.
Yeah. For the viewers, Red Dead is out.
Western theme type of topic here. So pretty much, there's so many articles on Red Dead already, and I didn't want to just choose an article and just like we typically do, just kind of, what do you think about that, or what are your theories or thoughts on that? I kind of want to have like I don't know what this game's going to be like. I know it's going to be something amazing. I don't know what it's going to be like, but let's have straight up just a kind of Western topic. Let's just have something where it's like, what is your favorite Western movie? Or what is a Western movie that you can like just watch over and over again? Or, you know what I mean? So pretty much that I think could be our like kind of question. What's your favorite Western movie?
I don't have very many favorite Western movies, only because I'm not the biggest Western fan.
Hey, me either.
I'm really not. I mean, if he hit me up, was like, "Oh, what's your favorite Western?" I'm like, "Why? What? Why would you ask me that?" So you did bring up obviously like The Hateful Eight, which is a great Western, but not that authentic type Western.
Yeah, and I know there's going to be people that might watch this and be like, well, why aren't you bringing up The Good, Bad, and the Ugly? Or why aren't you bringing up like the original True Grit or the original Magnificent Seven and stuff like that? Is like, you know what? To be all fucking honest, I haven't watched those goddamn things. I haven't watched those. I never got into Westerns because I just, as a kid, I was like, I'm outside or I want to watch something that is interesting on TV. And to me, that just wasn't interesting. You know what I mean? Like, Westerns weren't very interesting to me. John Wayne, not interesting.
I was not interested. It was too hokey for me.
Yeah.
It was too much. I was like, well.
Right, exactly.
I got them engines. And I was like, it was super like in like the political.
That wasn't something that I was super into, and I know that I had friends, and I had friends' grandparents who were super into Westerns. You know what I mean? But it was just something where they would literally watch a Western every single day. Like that's how like into Westerns they were. But they were old grandpas. You know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong, like that whole lifestyle of the gunslinger
or at least the whole genre of film in that time, where people watch those, and they appreciate those. That's a good time. That's a good time of film. That's a good cinematically. It's done well, and you can see a lot of modern day filmmakers using those tricks or using those kind of little things or nods to the Western films and things like that. You know what I mean?
That's true. And it's not to say that whole era wasn't interesting. I mean, they do bring up like there's modern times of it. Westworld is a great show.
Yeah.
I'd never finished it.
And it's a Western, technically.
And it's technically based in a Western society.
Yeah.
It's so much like that.
It's a sci-fi Western.
It really is. But you really have to kind of spin it that way to me now for me to really kind of be into it. Because if I think about Westerns and really stuff that I like, I think about Blazing Saddles, which is really kind of, and really kind of segueing to my like Western favorites.
Right, because that's an older movie.
It's an older movie.
It is definitely gunslinging, like in the West type of feel. You know what I mean? But in a comedy kind of sense.
It's a comedy kind of sense.
Not typical.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like the real like. Who is it? It's not just John Wayne. It's Clint Eastwood type.
Yep.
And I even watched the Magnificent Seven, but it wasn't.
The newer one or the older one?
I never watched the older one.
Oh, okay.
I watched because they actually took that from a samurai movie that was made from Japan. That movie was phenomenal. You know, so for me to be like, oh, well, I want to watch it's like I would rather watch that one than the Western one.
Yeah.
Because it's just more interesting. It's, you know, but so things that come into mind, 3. I'm going to force 3. The only 2 that really come into mind are Blazing Saddles.
Mm-hmm. That was a new one.
Because that one was hilarious, obviously, because Gene Wilder was so good in it, and that movie was just great. One that people are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Is called. I even had to Google it because I don't even remember it. It's called The Cherokee Kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Sinbad, not the Barbarian. Oh no, that's Conan. Sinbad, there wasn't like a superhero named Sinbad, wasn't there?
He's like a magician, like a
or
genie.
something like that. Yeah. But Sinbad, the comedian, was actually a part of this, and it was comedic, and it was.
What about that Will Smith one?
Oh, the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. It was whatever.
It's kind of like a Western, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Western.
Like steampunk Western.
Like trash Western.
I thought it was good.
Like Will Smith was like blockbuster. It was okay.
Yeah.
But Sinbad was to me. I don't think you ever watched that.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
The Cherokee. We will sit down and watch the Cherokee Kid because I'm sure nobody's ever watched. It's literally Sinbad, this black comedian in a Western film, and then he's a terrible gunslinger and follows that whole mantra, and then becomes this top-notch gunslinger in the middle of it, and it's just kind of just like a funny,
basic
comedic,
trope, cliche.
Yeah,
type of,
cliche.
Like, start from the bottom, building up like
Yeah.
Drake, and okay, so
Yeah, so it was nothing like super serious. It wasn't like those real typical Westerns.
What was it, like comedy? Because he's a
It
comedian.
was comedy. It was
Okay.
definitely comedy. I liked it because I liked it as a kid, and I was like, oh, this is super cool. I mean, if Shanghai Nights 2 counted as a Western, then
Yeah.
you know, like
Right.
I would take that as a. Or Shanghai Nights was technically a Western because
Right.
they were in America during that time. So,
Yeah.
so basically, every Western I've liked
Wow.
wasn't like an actual Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, yeah. Wow. Wow.
And he had that face that just kind of scrunched in.
Yeah, like it was a really good kind of
What the
Western.
fuck happened with his nose? Like, did someone break it multiple times when he was a
Alright.
kid? It's just,
He played hockey, whatever.
all right. What about you? I mean, are there any westerns that come to mind?
Well, Blazing Saddles was one of the ones
obviously.
that came to mind. Let's see. Well, I mean, like you have like Tarantino too, which with like you said, Hateful Eight, but then you have like, the Django.
I don't know if the Django was necessary because that was more kind of plantation. Like,
No,
I
You
don't think so. It wasn't like a Wild Wild West type feel to it.
I mean, he seemed pretty cowboyish, rugged cowboyish. The minute he put those, he had the stirrups. And he
Yeah.
had like, you know what I mean?
There's-
Like, and he had the hat to the side, and it was just, he
Yeah.
just, to me, it kind of seemed like a Western in a Tarantino type of fashion.
What
You know
about the
I mean?
Hateful Eight?
Well, that's definitely in that time.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
definitely in that time.
For sure.
What else?
Let's see, Bone Tomahawk.
I've never even heard of that
Bone
movie.
Tomahawk.
I've
It's
never
like
heard of
it's
that
like an
movie.
indie film. It's actually pretty
Okay.
recent. I think it's like 2016. Has Kurt Russell in it. But that's a pretty good Western.
Isn't there a movie called Tombstone that was supposed to be really good?
Tombstone. That sounds
I
familiar.
think so. I think what is that guy's name? I thought Val Kilmer or something like that, or Kurt Russell was in it, and
Well, it doesn't
Kevin-
count. It doesn't count for this podcast because you haven't seen it.
I've never seen it, but I heard it was good. I'm gonna say it was a part of my top 3, just to be like, oh, he knows what he thought. No, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Never seen it.
No, yeah,
I mean, I can really go down to maybe 10 westerns I've actually seen. Like 310 to Yuma, I've seen that on theaters.
okay. I saw Magnificent Seven, like the newer one, with Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington.
I've never seen that one.
I mean, pretty good actually.
Yeah, was it good?
Yeah, I actually bought it on for Blu-ray.
Oh, nice. No, I don't think I've seen Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
Yeah, no, that was
Which
good.
is fun. It's a fun movie.
I like steampunk. Yeah, no, it is fun, and that's why I was like, why are you bashing it? You don't need to bash it. I mean, yeah, it's not like cinematic masterpiece, but it's like a good. It's like, well, Elf is on a different level, but I mean, it's like one of those movies where you can kind of turn on and just be like, oh, that's fun. It's just they're having fun.
Movie.
Yeah, they're just having fun. You know what I mean? I don't know though. I'm not a big Western movie fan.
So is it going to be hard to translate that into a game though? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
Because I mean, and it's really kind of to differentiate between enjoying movies and really kind of taking that time. I mean, that era to where it was gunslinging. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That whole era, the gunslinging,
right?
You know, even the attire that they wore, the wardrobes, everything about that whole era was great and fascinating.
Yep.
It's just I'm not necessarily into those movies, but I would want to like if Westworld, which is actually a really great show. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. To actually have kind of like a way to get engulfed into that whole world and the environment like they do in Westworld would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's where the line is, like it becomes acceptable, mm-hmm. right? Like for me, watching is not interactive, right? So I need to be engaged. I need to be, or appreciate like the film or appreciate like the actual, cinematography or whatever it is. I'm watching it for enjoyment or for actual like critiquing, but I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it, or I'm you know what I mean. It's a different thing. It's kind of like a indirect viewing.
Okay.
Right. Whereas a video game is more direct and more interactive.
Yeah.
And so it's I get to create the story, and because there's so many, like I said earlier in the podcast, because there's so many different options of what to choose with, like, do I taunt this guy? You know what I mean? Because these guys, the NPCs remember. Mm-hmm. So if they know, like, you go into town and they're like, no, I'm not going to help you out. You shot at my cousin, you know what I mean, last week kind of thing. And it's like, they remember that stuff because that stuff gets around. And so it's like, you create that story. You are the one who are building your Western movie, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm just watching, it needs to be engaging enough that I'm like, okay, this is something and I can appreciate or something.
And I feel like a lot of Westerns kind of fall along the same storyline. I mean, not necessarily always the same, but there's a lot of the same, like similar storylines between it. And that's why it's kind of hard.
What do you mean? Like, what is the similar?
I mean, there's a bad guy who comes into town or a bad, group
Someone's
of people.
poisoned the water hole.
Yeah. There's just a set of group or whoever is coming to town, and if you think, what? There was a movie. I lied. I really have to look it up because. Mm-hmm. I really have to look it up because there was a old Western that I really did enjoy. And someone's got to correct me on this, but literally the entire time, everybody is... And it was really one of those movies that... It was a classic movie, classic Western.
Okay.
That people... it was high praised and everything in that sense, but the whole movie was just these people getting prepared for this evil guy coming. And it's really going through the motions of it. Like, everyone's going through the motions of it. Like, no, this person's going to die. There's no way this is going to happen. And it's this showdown that's going to happen between the sheriff in town and this really badass guy who just, I think he, like, escaped prison or escaped something of the sort. And he's coming to town to seek revenge or get to the town or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the whole just buildup of it and it like really hitting a certain time, I forgot what the movie was called, but it was such a great Western.
I mean, you're describing every Western.
Yeah, it really is. But I mean,
because I was like, that's like Magnificent Seven. That's like Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, it really.
I'm like, what is that one? Oh, and you know what? It can be anyone.
But it was the cinematography at that time and how they utilized, time and different symbols, and I was like, oh wow, this is really artistic on how they did it.
It could have been
honestly,
one of those.
Honestly, it was probably the Magnificent Seven. Thinking about it now,
Really,
but. I have to look it up, but it was a really great Western. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually intriguing me. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening. And in the end, it was just this one sheriff and this guy who came in, and he came with his buddies, and he went and they battled it at the end, and obviously, the good guy won. But it was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was just the fact of how they orchestrated the whole movie and the cinematography behind it. That I was like, oh wow, I really appreciate this. It was a film.
Well, someone watching might know, so they might comment down below and let you know what the actual movie is.
Yeah, I forgot what movie. I'm gonna look it up right now, but it was a really great movie.
But yeah, no, that's a really interesting take. That would be something that would be like, okay, yeah, that's more engaging for me to actually sit down and watch. Mm-hmm. But I think, as a kid, you just kind of want to. I don't know. You have what you think is cool, you know what I mean, mm-hmm. and that's like what you want to focus on. Yeah. And so it's like back when I was a kid, Westerns weren't cool. I didn't really give two shits about them. You know what I mean? I went outside and surfed and skateboarded and did all that kind of stuff. And when I watched a movie, it was more like Matrix, kind of like crazy dodging bullets and shit like that, Yeah. So. I don't know. I see what you mean, though, because that would be really cool to watch that.
And it was the emphasis of time throughout the entire movie.
Like, or that like in
he was gonna be
like it's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
And you're sitting there, and it's like you're almost watching as a townsfolk, kind of being like, oh shit, getting anxious that this is gonna occur, and you're coming to the realization it's like that guy could die. Mm. That guy could die too. Yeah. That's very kind of like Westworld as well. You know?
I think the whole the main protagonist of the story was trying to get people to be involved in it and be like, no, like I don't want to. And he was trying to convince people to band with him so that way they can fight it.
I mean, it sounds like Magnificent Seven. The fact that he's trying to collaborate with other people to come in and like stop this one guy from taking over the town. That's the exact story of Magnificent Seven.
Maybe it is Magnificent Seven because I've seen the samurai one and I was wondering because it was a film class. Like a history of film class. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I really like that. So if I would say my Western, that would be my top one, just because of how.
Yeah, we should have like a Japan movie night.
Yeah.
And watch old like Japan samurai movies.
Oh yeah.
Because Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima,
Sushi
will be coming out soon.
What is that?
It's a samurai video game that's coming out.
Okay.
For PlayStation, and it's from Sucker Punch, who did Infamous. That you may know it, but the detail of it looks really good. It's like old, like actual modern, like not modern, but like realistic style fighing. Okay. Where they use actual samurai poses and different actual really art forms and things like that. Where they actually take in the martial arts of the sword play and all that stuff. So it's exciting. Yeah. And so if we can watch maybe some of the Japanese movies and then be like, what's your favorite Japanese take off of this? We probably should have done that for this Western one too.
I mean, if you think about it, samurai and Western are really similar in a lot of different aspects.
Yeah. And even going off of that, you have samurai, Japan film to Western film to even mafia film.
That's true.
Right? The Western to mafia is pretty much the same thing, but just more in a more modern than Western take. And then you look at like the newest season. I know we've gone over time for sure.
We have 8 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, then Mafia going into Daredevil season 3, and how that pretty much plays out like a Mafia movie. And so that you go from here, like this Japan to Western to Mafia to like something that's so modern it came out last week, you know, and the ties, the continuation, the familiarity is what allows us to understand it and at least like appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the spins and twists and modernness of what occurs in those films at that time, you know, because like with the Japan ones, a lot of the Western filmmakers were looking at Japan kind of going, I like this, but I want to put it into a more film Western setting.
Mm-hmm.
And so they take that and they kind of take the same story and they move it, you know, over. And it's the same thing with like now the new Westerns and the Mafia films, and it's cool to see that kind of transition, that evolution.
Mm-hmm. Segue us out.
That concludes our Mikereative Cast. Thank you for watching to the end. If you did, please check us out on the other social medias like Facebook, Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, and where else? Where else are we?
We are on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. We're on SoundCloud too. I mean, it's not very good, but whatever. We could try. But we appreciate you sticking to the end. Please leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like. If you are a new viewer to this video,
please
share, subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what should be changed. We actually got a new lens. We're working on a 24 millimeter. I think it looks pretty good. Our ISO is a lot lower than before, so I think the graininess of our picture should be a lot better than our normal ones.
That's awesome.
So we're working up. We're getting better. But we needed you guys to critique us and let us know what you think, and give us some feedback. And if you guys do, please be sure to leave a like or dislike, leave a subscribe, comment down below, let us know what you liked or didn't like, and we appreciate the watch. Cheers. Salut.
Salut.
Abonne-toi. Subscribe. Merci. Thank you. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Sayonara.
Please stop.
Good night.
Good night.